What did the KKK do?
That is not, look, we'll go around in circles. Did you say, what did the KKK do?
No, what did they do? Wouldn't agree with what he did, then now I should shut up? Because I'm white, so I should shut up? I shouldn't be able to talk about black issues because I'm white?
No.
I mean, would you consider yourself a liberal?
That was just funny. That was just funny. It was just a funny moment.
I'm a millennial. It doesn't surprise you.
Things are going to get a little bit hot in today's interview between Tomi Lahren and Trevor Noah. But let me ask you first, in college football, how many points do you think it's worth if you're playing at home? You have the home field advantage. Your crowd is there. You're familiar with the field. It's about 2.5 points. In the NFL, it's about 2.7 points. Now, when you're talking about social interaction, a home field advantage, like if you go on someone's show, like Trevor Noah, his daily show, where he has the entire crowd at his side, it's worth much, much more. You're at a significant disadvantage if you're coming into that environment where everyone's against you, especially if you hold views different than the other person and the crowd. And I'm gonna talk to you more at the end of the video about why that is. But both of these two are very talented, number one, and number two, they have so much experience. Think of how many times these people have had these heightened stress types of situations where the other person is against them all the time. And that's why I picked out this video to break it down. My name's Barron Cruz. This is the Charisma Matrix. And here on this channel, I teach you the social skills you need to get what you want out of life. I want you to improve socially so you can feel comfortable when you're out in public, enjoy yourself, and succeed and strive. So I'm gonna break down all the social maneuvers that they do that you may not notice just when you're watching. Intuitively, it may just look like a heated conversation, but I'm gonna point out all the strategic things that they do so you can recognize these in your life. So if somebody tries to pull one on you, you can spot it and handle it like a pro. All right, let's jump in and watch how this thing opens up. So one thing I want to say is with Comedy Central, they will only allow you to play super short clips. So I'm going to really have to chop this up, but I'll put a card up here. You can click up here in the right corner if you want to see the whole interview just as it plays through if you want a little more context.
Again.
You consider yourself a conservative?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a millennial, so I don't really like labels. But yes, I'm conservative in thought.
Sorry, my brain, you just gave a label to say you don't like labels. But anyway,
we exist on a spectrum,
No.
Trevor. I mean, would you consider yourself a liberal?
That was just funny. That was just funny. It was just a funny moment.
I'm a millennial. It doesn't surprise you.
It's just funny.
All right, that was well done by Trevor Noah. So he caught her by saying she's a millennial, so she doesn't like labels, because being a millennial is a label as well. And then as she tried to defend herself, saying, no, but this and this and this and this and this, what did he do? He didn't get into it like, no, you said you're a millennium. That's giving yourself a label. Now he would be defending his position. So it's actually a better move for him to do what he did. All he did is, no, it's just funny. And no. And she's digging herself a deeper grave. No, listen, it's just funny. It's just funny. Kind of like, oh, no, you're an idiot. You know, you called yourself a millennial saying you did not want a label. You gave yourself a label. It's just funny. It's just funny. How many times did he say that here?
Gave a label to say you don't like labels.
So
but anyway,
we exist on a spectrum,
No.
Trevor. I mean, would you
Two.
consider yourself a liberal?
That was just funny. That was just funny. It was
Three.
just a funny moment.
I'm a
Four,
millennial. It doesn't
five.
surprise you.
It's just funny.
6.
And I saw 5 fallen officers because of it. So
That's not fair, and that's true.
No, it is fair, Trevor, because the shooter said, point-blank shooter said he's doing this because of Black Lives Matter.
All right, catch that there. You can tell that Trevor Noah was on the fence with something he was going to say. He didn't have that great of a retort, and she sensed it and just talked right over him. And, a lot of people get talked over a lot, and it's a big problem in their life. And I actually have a video right here you can click on to teach you what to do if somebody talks over you. But in this instance, this is a very nuanced way that she addressed it, because if you act like you're 100% sure in what you're saying and you're talking loudly and you're making strong eye contact, the chance of somebody trying to talk over you is much less than when you don't seem sure of yourself. And I want you to watch this back and notice how Trevor Noah does not seem sure of himself with this, and she just bulldozes right over.
That's not fair, and that's true.
No, it is fair, Trevor, because the shooter said, point-blank shooter said he's doing this because of Black Lives Matter.
Yes, and there are many things you can say. I mean, if you go outside, you can say anything about doing something because of, you cannot deny that the man had mental issues as well, and he was in a tough place.
You notice his whole tone of voice is different and more unsure when he is not unsure, when he is less sure about the point that he's making, and everyone's like that.
Because you say the thing doesn't mean it's what it stands for.
but it's kind of a read like at a poker game where you know someone's real hand. If they're not even giving the nonverbals that they're sure of something, well, they're probably not, and there's probably a reason for it.
Right? Because
you
you're the
feel
same person.
emboldened?
You're the same person who argued on your show that just because Donald Trump has supporters from the KKK doesn't mean he's in the KKK. So it goes against that argument. It goes against that. You can't say.
There's that home field advantage, right? At any point that they make and there's a pause, you got the crowd behind you. And that's tough. As the person who is at the not the home field, the visitor, I should say, it's tough when you get laughs and applause because you can never get any momentum and you begin to anticipate negative reactions from the person in the crowd, which means you really just have to maintain your own state, which means you have to be very confident in yourself and what you're saying.
And did you know that a black man is 18.5 times more likely to shoot a police officer than a police officer is to shoot a black man? Those are statistics no one wants to talk about.
Here's the thing. So let me ask you this then.
Okay, did you catch it right there? That's the ultimate home field advantage when they can go and cut out segments that they don't want you to see. Did you notice they cut from one to the other because clearly, I don't know what he said, but clearly it must have not been positive for him. So that really is, that also enables him to be much more loose because he has, or his company, whatever, Comedy Central, has final approval. I'm not sure what the industry term is, but to cut out the parts that they want and leave the parts in. But when you're the guest, if you mess up, not only are they not going to cut that out, they're going to focus that and feature that in probably the ads leading up to it. So that's another way that the home field advantage or Trevor Noah can play much more loose because he knows that even if he makes a crazy mistake or something goes wrong, they can simply cut it out.
If you
watch it again.
To shoot a police officer than a police officer is to shoot a black man. Those are statistics no one wants to talk about.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
True diversity is diversity of thought, not diversity of color. I don't see color. I go after Hillary Clinton and she's as white as they come.
You don't see color. So what do you do at a traffic light?
See, I actually think that makes him look worse. Because once again, it's just a layup. Any time that you can misinterpret something that's just so low brow, like that's third grade humor done in a bad way. But he's got home field advantage, right? So he knows he's going to get a laugh. And if he doesn't, they can put a laugh track in the back to make it seem like something. But it's pretty clear when you're having a racial discussion, you say you don't see color, that you're referring to you're not affected by the color of someone's skin. And he says, what do you see at a traffic light? Just a layup, just too low brow. I just think that, what do you think about that? You think there's anyone who heard that and was like, oh, got her?
That is happening. So when that now becomes the narrative and you're starting to loot, burn, and riot, what did the KKK do?
That is not, look, we'll go around in circles. Did you say, what did the KKK do?
No, what did they do? When you're saying...
See, that's another one of those. Like, that's kind of his thing. I just think that's dumb. I just think that that's too low brow. Like, once again, she's clearly asking what actions did they take, where she's drawing those commonalities and those correlations. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? You don't know what they did? What, you don't see color? Can you see a traffic light? It's just not good.
Listen, Trevor.
Wow.
Trevor, his First Amendment right to do it. I don't agree with what he did. So because I don't agree with what he did, then now I should shut up? Because I'm white, so I should shut up? I shouldn't be able to talk about black issues because I'm white?
No one brought up whites at all. I never said that. I don't see color. I don't think that's what the argument is.
There's the old throwback humor. But, once again, like these are kind of just low brow. Like, I don't think Trevor Noah's very impressive right here. He's taken all these super layup cracks that are just so lowball. Once again, it's just low intelligence humor. It's not impressive to me.
And then I started to see that was going to be our nominee, and I said, it's him or Hillary. A lot of Americans were in that position.
Yeah.
And then I got closer to the campaign, and I started seeing some of the things he was saying, and I started seeing the effect he was having on people and the things that he was saying that was touching people and making them feel like
touching people.
Yeah, he was.
He really was.
Hillary could use some of that every now and then, right? Bill's a little busy.
I appreciate you being...
All right, that was poor on her part, I feel, because she had kept it together so well, like no emotion, just kind of laughing whenever he was saying things that were funny, not showing that she's mad or angry. But then to kind of give that low blow about Hillary could use somebody touching her, throwing back to the old Bill Clinton stuff, especially to end the interview like that, it was a departure from congruence. You know what I mean? Like her whole image and arguments were congruent until that. And then once again, maybe she was sucked into his low third grade kind of humor throughout the interview. Who knows what was cut out, but I feel like that was definitely not a point in her favor to do that. She could have ended a lot more elegantly. Now, I want to talk to you about Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher. Those guys really went at it. But before I do, I want to ask you, when you're out, do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel like you're not sure how to go up and make a good impression with people? Maybe you do sometime, you don't sometime. You feel like there's some randomness. That can really zap your confidence. And if you feel that way, or if you're looking to improve at all, I've got a free checklist for you called the Social Invincibility Checklist. You can touch or click up here in the right corner, or go to charismamatrix.com/SI checklist, and you can get it for free if you're coming from this video. Go through 5 things that'll get you up to speed on that. Now, Bill Maher is also very liberal, and Ben Shapiro is very conservative. And these guys really went at it. And I break down that video. It's a really interesting one. If you haven't seen that, you can touch or click up here to go to it, and I'll talk to you in that video.
Because they have more guts than the liberals. Liberals don't go on conservative shows. They don't even come on this show sometimes.